Hello everyone, my name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are Your Bourbon Journey. Well, today we are actually going way off of our normal beaten path with what we do. We have talked in the past and we have reviewed some rye whiskeys. And we've had discussions about picking what we consider to be our 5 favorites that we really like. And we did almost an NFL draft. So there are 5 up here. We don't know what is what. We're going to be reviewing these different ryes and determine which one are our personal favorites. This will be more of an individual thing. And before we get going, 2 that we decided not to have was Glen's Creek Risky, which is I think a 133 proof, as well as Woodford Reserve, which is a 125. The proof point on them is outstanding, but we don't think it would line up well with these, but we like both of those. We want to give a quick shout out before we get started.
So I'm going to do a hyper brief overview so you know what ryes we're tasting. And then of course, when we get into tasting them, you will know what we're doing even though we don't. In alphabetical order, we have Bardstown Bourbon Company's Origin Series Rye, which is 96 proof. It is 95% rye and 5% malted barley. It is also toasted in cherry wood and oak barrels. Next, we have Hard Truth Chocolate Malt Rye, which is 109.6 proof. It is 51% rye, 38% corn, and 11% chocolate malted barley. Next is Neely Family Reserve Sweet Thumped Rye, which is 108.9 proof, 65% rye, 30% corn, and 5% malted barley. It is the only single barrel in our group. Then we have New Riff Balboa Bottled in Bond, which is 100 proof. It is 95% Balboa rye, which is an heirloom grain, and 5% malted rye. Finally, we have Tomstown Straight Rye Bottled in Bond. Of course, it's 100 proof. It is 64% rye, 32% corn, and 4% malted barley. So we're curious to see if the percentages of rye versus other things they do will influence us. The proofs are super close. They're like 96 to just under 110. So they're within 10 points of one another. So that should be pretty even.
And it's interesting because 2 of them, the grain breakdown is very close. Neely and Tomstown are just a couple points off on each one. Very interesting.
We're going to do just an express tasting, talk about what we're getting on this A, and share that with you while we're talking. And they've all got some pretty good legs, it looks like. They were forming while we were doing this.
Well, this is interesting. It smells like a rye. This is an interesting smell. There's almost some bourbon-esque type things coming up. Almost a little bit of vanilla.
It's got some kind of light fruit to it. A little bit of the rye spice, though, is coming forward. Well, I'm going to taste A.
Oh, yeah.
A. Oh. That is a lot more flavorful than it was on the nose. That has a lot of flavor on it to the point that I have an idea what it is.
I think I know what it is.
This has coffee notes for me. If it's what I think it is, it has this like you should be drinking it after dinner. I think it's really yummy. I like how it's smooth. To talk about it a little bit more, it's got this great viscosity on the mouth. It does not overtake you with any kind of rye spice because I'm pretty sure it has this chocolate malted, which takes your palate on this journey of more mocha flavors, more coffee flavors, which I think is fascinating.
Okay.
But I could be completely wrong. All right, that was A. Now let's go on to B.
Over there. B.
This one definitely has more on the nose. The A didn't have a lot happening on the nose.
No, the nose is actually very disappointing in my opinion. Totally opposite the palate.
This is fragrant. Floral. I'm getting like orange blossoms. It's really nice. I don't know what kind of rye you like. While we're doing this, if you put in the comments what notes you get excited about in a rye when you taste it. Are you getting like an orange blossom kind of thing and floral notes?
I'm getting something, I don't want to say it.
Okay. Well, let's try it. To sample B.
B.
Mm-hmm.
It's floral.
Matches the nose really well for me.
And I'm going to go out on a limb because I'm tasting it. I'm getting sherry.
Really?
Yeah.
I am getting orange like on the nose, but on the palate, the orange is more citrusy, whereas on the nose, it was more floral. So it becomes more citrus orange. And some rye spices coming forward. I think it's very good.
Mm-hmm. I actually, in a lot of ways, like it more than one. And
they're very different.
They're
very different rye.
For me, with it right now is one didn't have enough on the nose, and I really like the palate. I like the taste. This one here has both aspects, so I'm on to picking up glass 3 here.
That's fine. Let's do that.
Turn this around.
This smells a little more like a traditional rye.
I'm not getting much on it. I'm gonna work the glass some more.
It's really light. It's got great legs on it. Look at those legs. It's fabulous viscosity.
Ryegrass, the only thing I'm getting.
Yeah, it just smells like a rye to me.
Well, let's go ahead and drink it.
To sample C.
C. C.
Again, it's matching the palate because I'm getting ryegrass on the palate.
Mm-hmm. It's also sweet.
Mm-hmm. And I'm getting a little hint of like star anise with this. Which I didn't get on either of the other two. Sometimes you get that with a rye.
That one's not bad.
Mm-hmm. It's very good. We each got to pick one, and then we picked one and picked one like we were drafting, as he said. And we really didn't have an argument, so it was kind of easy. You actually came in the room first and started picking out what all you wanted.
I did.
And I didn't disagree. D. This smells like C, but stronger. Like more, not stronger like proof, stronger like more pronounced. It smells like ryegrass, but heavier.
Yeah. This is, if you were in a conversation and you were saying, what's your name? This one would be like, my name's Mr. Ryegrass. And you look at this one, what's your name? This one would be, my name is Mr. Ryegrass.
But there's a sweetness to it too, right even on the nose. And the last one, I don't recall getting that on the nose. Again, we aren't as good at picking out notes on rye as we are on bourbon, because bourbon's what we drink 7 days a week. Rye, we drink something typically when we're reviewing it, so we don't do a lot of rye. So we don't get a lot of special fancy notes.
I do think it's a solid nose though.
It is a nice nose, yeah.
Let's drink some D.
D.
D. I'm getting orange.
I'm getting a little hint of mint on this one. It's the first one I've gotten mint on. And often you get mint with rye.
I'm getting orange, like I said, and rye. I'm not getting the mint.
And it's interesting because now that I've had it on my palate, the nose feels like it's opening up to a little more.
I'm not getting the mint, but I'm getting the orange in that. So.
And I didn't get orange on that one. So there you go. We have one more, E.
Letter E. And this visual, I think, is the darkest.
Interesting, because these are very different ryes. This is a little different.
This is different. I think I know what it is. I'm getting grains. I'm getting rye.
It's fragrant, it's floral, it's bright. This might be the brightest smelling of the others.
The word that I think of is fresh.
So I think yours fresh is my bright. Well, let's taste E.
E. Rye, grains. And I think that the nose and the palate really line up on this one. About as good as any of these we've had.
First, I'm curious. You're knowing what we're drinking, so I'm curious in the comments. Were you surprised at our notes, or you're thinking, gosh, Wayne, you missed such and such, or Rebecca, I can't believe you got that on such and such. So let us know. I'd love to hear what you think if you've had these. And now we're going to do a little bit deeper dive to see if we can figure out which one we like best. I did some preliminary kind of scoring. We're not scoring these for a contest, but just to help me know where to go back to and retaste. And we will fast forward this part, so you're not dealing with that. So we'll be back. Okay, we're back, and that was perhaps harder than we thought because these have some very different profiles. If they were all the same, it'd probably be pretty easy, but these are very different, and I'm not sure that we aligned on this. But we decided, since we each did score them to help us with our own individual ranking, we are going to check out what the total score is. Let's see. We were closest on our scores, or farthest apart on our scores, I should say, for D. Let's start with D.
All right.
Find out what D is. And this isn't like last place because we all had our own ranking. Number 1. Very interesting. That is Bardstown.
Huh. Okay.
Bardstown is D.
I can see that.
And I wasn't sure. I didn't guess it as Bardstown. But our next kind of tie score was sample C. So C is 4. Okay. Now this is funny.
New Riff. Huh.
New Riff, that's a Balboa. It is an heirloom rye. The funny thing is, sorry about that, is the first time I went through, I thought that was Balboa. And the second time I went through, I changed that one to Bardstown. So I actually flipped them. So I was right the first time. My first tasting was more accurate, apparently. This one here, we'll go with sample B. B is 5.
Yep, I had this one right.
I had this one right as well because it has so many orange notes. I remember that from when we tasted it last time. Tomstown is just filled with orange notes. Okay, so now we're down to the last two. So
Go ahead and put up A.
We'll put up A because we were closest on the scoring on this one. This was really tight. So A is 2. And that's what I would have guessed A to be. Hard Truth Chocolate Malt. And I will just say this, if you are not a rye drinker, this was one of the first ryes we both really loved because it doesn't really taste like a rye. It tastes like you're having a coffee after dinner drink.
It does.
It's pretty amazing. So that takes us to our final one, which is E. And E is, I guess I should look at it, make sure I didn't mess up any of my numbering. E is 3, and this bottle's almost empty, but we have a backup. That is Neely Family Distillery with their Sweet Thumped Rye. And it's the only single barrel on the table, I'll just say. And another interesting point looking at these, the Hard Truth is probably the most different because of chocolate malt. And the Neely's is the only single barrel. But the 2 highest proof ones are these 2. We're proofy people. We say that all the time. So that's why we didn't put the high proofs in here. But so that's a pretty interesting lineup. I don't disagree with this lineup.
Well, it's funny because the lowest proof actually finished 5th.
It did. And these are the 2 bottle and bonds.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. Do you think so? Now, what would be your ranking? If you know these, what would be your favorite or your least favorite, things like that? We love all 5 of these, or they wouldn't even be in the discussion point today. And I think they're all good for different things. I used this Tomstown in a cocktail when we had reviewed them back in August, and it was fabulous. It was really good with those orange notes. Makes an amazing cocktail. And the Balboa Rye, what New Riff does with their heirloom grains, fantastic. And I was getting this little bit of heirloom note with that, so that was pretty interesting. But Neely's wins the day. I mean, they do sweet mash. Everything they do is very pure. Everything is in pot stills, and they love their grains, and it shows.
Absolutely. It's almost a bias for me. The minute I taste it, I'm like, yeah, I know what this is. I'm very partial on the palate in a way to what they do. I like the place. But the other 2 that were up here, these 2 guys, I really like as well. And probably this one here is the first rye that I ever liked. And we actually had the privilege when we were still with the Evansville Bourbon Society to taste this out of a barrel.
Yeah.
The guy came out and drilled it, got this big pitcher like that, and started filling it and pouring it in glasses while we were standing there. It is the best thing I've ever had straight out of a barrel.
Yeah.
Even though it's a rye and I prefer bourbon, this was the best. And I remember we were with our friends Rue and Mark. We were standing there drinking, and we was like, oh crap, this is really good.
And it was probably the first experience we had with a chocolate malt.
Yes.
Chocolate malted barley. Because I kept thinking, you can't add flavor to this stuff. How do you make this happen? And now we've had other things. David Meyer at Glens Creek Distilling loves to use that as well. And he also roasts barley. So doing those different things, using different barley and roasting it or not roasting it, can bring forward some really different flavor complexes. And we tried it there, and then we were so excited when we found it in our local liquor store because they weren't selling it yet. We were one of the first ones to taste it.
Yeah.
We were there for a VIP experience with the Evansville Bourbon Society, as Wayne mentioned. And I became a huge Hard Truth fan that day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have a whole shelf of Hard Truth now, just saying.
It's outstanding.
So what did you think about this? Was it fun?
Well, I'm jumping up and down, I'll tell you right now. I liked it. I really enjoyed, as silly as it sounds, trying to figure out what rye we wanted to pick. And none of these here I dislike at all. I don't even know if one of them would be a disappointment.
Just recently, I did a Manhattan with the Bardstown, and it was fantastic. It is so good in a Manhattan. So these are all great ryes for different reasons. For sipping, we'd probably lean in this area for sitting down and sipping. And any of these are great just to have as an after-work sipper, which is what we were trying to figure out, because oftentimes we drink rye for the channel or we drink rye to use in a cocktail. So we were trying to figure out which one's most bourbon-esque, not that it tastes like bourbon, but something we'd want to sit down and sip for a couple hours. And any of these would be good at that. I think these first 3 were really close.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Yeah. I was really sold on E. The grain profile combined with the rye just blows my palate up. You know, and these 2, that's like a hair between them. The finish on Hard Truth is the best of the 5.
Yeah.
My entire experience of nose to palate and everything is Neely's. And in the case with Tomstown, it's just a hair. I'm surprised it was as close as it was to Hard Truth.
And I would say I think it's just different because it's got so much orange in it. And I just have to wonder if it were 110 proof, if it would have done better. Hard question, just saying, because it's a bottle and bond. But for me, there's just something about Hard Truth that whenever I think about, I rarely have an after dinner drink, but sometimes that's the one that comes to my mind because it's like you're having an after dinner coffee without the caffeine.
So I'm going to lift up my Neely's glass here.
Sure.
And let's give a toast out to all the contestants. Today with Rebecca and Royce, once again, you've hit it out of the park with rye. You do an outstanding job. All these were great. I can't sing enough praises to the 5 we have on the table because I would drink any of these straight. If you like what we do, hit the subscribe button. always remember to drink responsibly. Today, we encourage you to drink some rye. Any one of these on the table, if you got it, is what you want to drink. Cheers.
Cheers.